You were intended to hear this, not later. Not by chance right now. Because something in the spiritual world altered, and your name was spoken. Loudly, clearly, with love. Someone who once held you in life still holds you in the light. They didn't miss your pain. They haven't missed your growth and have observed it. What others ignored, they've observed how you remained silent when you may have yelled, how you continued going while wanted to disappear. How you chose serenity while turmoil knocked at your door. They made a plea to heaven that the next door in your life opens. Immediately that your name be I remembered again that the tears cried in secret, viewed in public favor. Heaven did not listen because of you. Begged, but you endured. This is your sign and indication that something you couldn't predict already making its way toward you. A message is coming, but it will not come like the previous one. It will not confuse you. It will not produce terror, it will bring truth. You'll experience clear healing. Before you see it, it will start in your body with a lightness. Stillness is a moment of recognizing that. Cannot be explained, that's confirmation. You are not making this up. Imagining the shifts as actual. They're wonderful. They are personal because this time it is for you, not everyone around you. Someone you need to fight for. This breakthrough is yours. You do not need to compete for it. You don't have to earn it, you simply need to receive it. Someone is still thinking about you, or someone you wanted to forget, not you stopped loving them, although because you couldn't keep harboring pain and hope in the same hand. But they have not forgotten you. Never have they been quiet, but they have been watching. You'll soon hear from them. Not out of guilt, but because something inside them, their spirit awoke. Stirred, and your name came up. Surface, this is not simply recollection. It is movement. Spiritual alignment is occurring today. Even if you don't see the pieces shift, even if your life continues to appear the same on the outside, heaven is reconfiguring things on your behalf. That job you thought you'd lost forever, a fresh door is opening. Opportunity that slipped through something greater is already at your fingertips. Being prepared, that link you imagined was gone forever, you are about to receive a sign that it is not over. This is not false hope. It is sacrosanct. You didn't miss anything because of the timing. Exactly where you should be, even if it's painful. That's why you've been feeling the burden lift, sense of something approaching. That restlessness in your heart that isn't random is a signal, and now you're being ordered to get ready. Because energy is changing, this when it's in your advantage. You've had enough mourning. I am thinking if it is now time to witness. Receive, realize what heaven has been holding for while you were healing. This is not only about hope, it is about you're going to see proof that the person you lost never left your side. That what you've been preparing for, silence, is not in vain. The divine prize is arriving, and there is alignment unfolding. There is a message traveling toward you. Are not in fear right now. Through force, but through genuine love you'll know whether you're experiencing consistent spiritual love. Your spirit has been waiting for it's not your ego. Your soul, you have not missed your season. You simply outgrown the one you were in. Now, something new must emerge, not from pain, but from the knowledge that you have chosen that your sadness is not a curse, that your love continues to speak louder. Then death, that someone is no longer physically, is still advocating for your delight, is still strolling with you in silence. Places still view you with pride, because they sense the shine in you. Others miss you, they know who you are beyond the noise that they wanted you to hear. This is because you are ready for more. You are ready to open your hands again. You're prepared to stop surviving and start. You've waited long enough, not just for a sign, but for anything substantial. Something honest, something that isn't make you shrink to receive it, and now it is arriving, not because you chased it, but you held on when they told you to let go, you chose faith. Fear felt louder, and you chose tenderness when anger tried to take control, and you chose to keep coming up, even if your heart is broken. Even without a road guide, and when no one heaven did notice, and someone in heaven spoke your name and asked for your heart will be comforted. They didn't forget their last chat. They did not forget how you held. In their final days, they remember your face, prayers, and silence. They remember how you remained as you. I kept loving even when it hurt, and now and with alignment comes confirmation. Pay close attention. A person who previously kept their distance, it will reach out and feel gentle. It will feel sacrosanct. The timing finally makes sense. You will not have to explain your worth. You will not have to prove that you are still hurting. They'll feel it and come forward. Not out of obligation, but because heaven, they were pushed by the same spirit, whispered your name and theirs as well. This is how divine connection works. Does not fade, it simply waits for the proper time to rise again. And that moment is near, you'll feel it. First, before the phone lights up, the message is delivered before the door, you'll sense it because your soul is being prepared, the ache that used to keep you stuck. It's becoming the very thing that stimulates your purpose. The silence that used to feel empty is now feels holy. Because you have changed. You are not waiting for rescue anymore. You're making room for miracles, and miracles are drawn to that type of faith. There's a reason your name is echoing. Spirit, you've reached you've come too far to turn. Return, and heaven will not let you miss what's yours. The door is already unlocking, not in months or years. Now, the energy has shifted, the alignment is real, and all that remains is your agreement. Say yes without knowing how to say yes, even though your hands are still shaking. Say yes, even if your heart is still sensitive, because the next chapter is not written in fear, it is written in favor. You will not need to chase what is coming. Will find you, it is already on its way. Because of who you are and what you carry, because who still carries you from heaven, the one. They've never stopped saying your name, I never ceased watching over you, and now they are witnessing heaven deliver. something you did not expect. That was hidden until the time we were ready, and you are ready today, even if you continue to cry, even if you are still grieving. Even if you wake up wondering when the weight will lift, and you'll be ready, because preparation is not about perfection. It's about posture. And your heart is open again, tender again, and there's heaven. Works well in softness, not toughness. You don't need to fight anymore. You do not have to beg. Just receive. Just believe that the person who departed left behind a blessing for you. You need to hear something. Only your soul will realize who you are. Not let you be not until you are not too broken to accept what is yet coming. You are right where heaven can reach. You are the reason this mail has arrived. Now that the hush is nearly ended because the weight is lifting. The season is changing, and you have been in nobody knows how long the wilderness has existed. You have been carrying grief that you didn't have words to smile when you should. Have been seen when you should have been heard, but they spotted one who left. One whose name still gives you pause. They have witnessed every hidden moment ever. You had a small collapse every time you looked up. They muttered, "Where are you?" There, and they never departed. They asked. Heaven will reward you not merely with comfort, with clarity, not merely with relief, but with direction, because you life still important, even today. Now that you have passed through the fire, you did not come out empty-handed. You turned out polished and gentler. Stronger in ways that no one can quantify. That strength has freed something sacred. There is a window opening in the spirit, is a tiny space where heaven exists. Dropping replies, and your name is written on one of them. You are about to receive truth that transforms your perspective. Everything is not because someone explains, but something within you awakens. You'll begin to remember who you truly are. Are not what life tried to create you. Not what grief attempted to convince you of before the agony. Who were you? Disappointed before the waiting, and it's happening now because of your spirit. Yes, you did not say it aloud. I didn't realize you stated it, but I have not heard that whisper that came between the tears, that peaceful time, when you said, "I'm tired." But I believe you said yes, and it moved. Watch what happens now. Unfold and observe how alignment begins to follow you down, and see how people remember your name, folks who went silent, who ghosted you, and who rejected what they couldn't grasp the going to. Feel the shift, to be, because heaven is working on timing, and the timing is not off anymore. The timing is wonderful. You will feel it in your body, a bit of you. I haven't felt like this in years. Stop bracing for terrible news. I pause. Your heart feels like liberation, not a coincidence, that's confirmation. You passed the test, not because you performed, but you remained you. You kept honest, and you stayed. Remained connected to something bigger than your pen, and heaven never forgets. That type of faith does not dissipate. It builds, multiplies, and suddenly it is returning to you not as effort but as another lesson. but as a true blessing. Bless those you don't have to. Defend those you don't have to. Describe the kind that fits you without and the one you lost. They'll be when it arrives. You'll feel their presence is plainly felt again. Deeply, it will halt you in your tracks. Because it will feel like home, not misery. However, recognition will feel seen again by heaven, by the ones you missed. This is who you're becoming. Tipping moment, where your faith becomes sight, and your suffering becomes portal in which your hope becomes a magnet. It's already in motion. You don't need to do more. You only need to stay open and keep soften your heart and retain your soul. Available, don't close up, don't run. The message came from the quiet. Is that where tranquility is waiting? You'll begin to see subtle signs. Feather in a foreign spot at the time. Clock that symbolizes something exclusively to you. A name that appears repeatedly. That's how heaven communicates, and they communicate not through noise but through those nudges will grow. Because the moment is close, the message. The door is already closed. Unlocked, now it's time to move through. With courage, humility, and trust. Even if you're afraid, still, He does not walk alone, and you will never. There is something occurring, right now, and your spirit already knows it. Feel it before it arrives. You sense the shift before you see the indication that this is not a coincidence, it is alignment. Confirms that heaven is functioning on you, are not forgotten for one instant. Not a single tear was wasted from your agony. They disappeared into quiet and were observed. They were counted, and then transported to those who continue to care for you from. They noticed how long you stayed. Strong without a claim, how you poured. No one poured into you, but others did. How you smiled to avoid falling when they were apart. They couldn't remain silent. They begged for movement on your behalf. Heaven listened, which is why your name has been stirring in areas you. We haven't even gotten into why people are beginning to remember why something feels like it's approaching, yet I am not sure what it is, but it is not yours. Imagine if your preparation reaches a new degree of preparedness, and now heaven is responding to the one you loved but left this planet. They never left your citav. Gotten closer since they crossed over. They saw what you couldn't say. They stayed when others walked away. And they've seen you carry wounds. With elegance, they're conversing again. But this time, it's more than just comfort. Instruction. Get ready, because what's been stuck is starting to move. What's being ambiguous is about to make perfect. Sense what has been delayed is abruptly. The Avengers are no longer waiting for you. Realignment, and what was written for you will feel it as you become more visible. In the way individuals begin responding, you'll notice it in a certain way. Things suddenly feel easy or not because life altered due of your enthusiasm. Shift steer, no longer challenger tinger, no more begging or receiving. Confused because clarity does not come from having all the solutions, that come from knowing what doesn't warrant your. You've learned that the hard way. The silent manner, but you learned dead. Now your soul is finally resting. Truthfully, you are enough and have always been. Enough, even when they left. They stopped calling, even though life broke your heart and handed it back in. Pieces you held on to, that's why heaven is holding you now, not to test you, to give you the reward. It's not merely material, spiritual, and emotional, it is relational and follows divine order. How do the appropriate people find you? Watch how clarity begins to enter every talk, observe how confident you are. Starts to return, not the fake sort. The noisy sort, the one that sits quietly and understands those who say, I don't have to beg, nor do I have to rush. I have to pursue what is already mine. What's yours? It's not approaching quickly, but steadily as morning light answers. After silence, as if love doesn't require you to suffer, you will know it. When it arrives, you will feel like peace, and if peace does not exist, it is not from heaven, and you will know it. You've developed not only in age, but in depth and faith. Discernment of becoming that type of person who doesn't require loud signs, since the spirit is already conditioned to feel subtle. Truth and the one who departed away have helped you develop that sensibility guided. They've stood at your side in quiet. You are in rooms you thought you entered. Alone, they were still guiding and loving. Still standing between you and danger, never knew you existed. Safeguarded in ways you'll never fully understand. But you'll start to feel it. You'll begin to notice how the wrong people depart before they can cause harm. You'll see that the appropriate ones find you without explanation. That's divine protection that is unseen, moving in your favor, and you did not have to earn it, you had to endure and do. Did you experience heartbreak that should have broken you? You faced loss that stole your breath, you endured quiet. That tried to convince you that you were alone, yet you were in two, aren't 12b. Because heaven keeps its promises, right now, heaven is keeping one particularly for you. The door opens, and a name is called. Remembered, and your narrative is stepping. You don't need to start a new chapter. Proclaim that there is no need to hasten it. Stay open, expectant, and rooted. What you know is true, since what you have already prayed for what comes next. I didn't know it would arrive like this, and when it does, you will smile. Without knowing why, breathe easier. Without requesting permission, you will say thank you without the words. Your soul will identify it was waiting for you, didn't it? Imagine if the ship didn't make up the signs that your spirit knows something changing before anything appeared. Different is how paradise works. Movement inside you, it shows around. You and heaven are currently reconfiguring your narrative, not because you begged, because you endured, and someone in heaven asked for this for you, someone who still speaks your name. Check your steps, who still whispers peace into your night. Stay, witness the moment. You almost gave up, they saw the moment. You sat in quiet and had no idea who to call. They heard the words you never said out loud, and they reacted not with words, but with action, requested that heaven touches your life. Heaven said yes, This message is proof this timing is exact. You are not behind, you are not invisible and are not forgotten, you're walking into something. The thought was for others, yet it's your name is inscribed on what? Next, no one can steal it, block it, and no one can replace it because heaven does not reassign what has been chosen, and you are chosen, you always. Even as they moved away, when it appeared to be rejection, even they said nothing and left you bewildered. That anguish was protection, since what you thought you wanted to have postponed what you were supposed to carry, now you are prepared for what is not yours. Not because you are perfect, but because you've gone through too much. Accept less than truth, too much to pretend. Your excitement is too great to pretend you're okay. With crumbs, the following chapter is about overflow, is not about clarity, Naya sits. About walking in peace without pushing through noise, peace is already on. The way you'll feel it before it shows up in the tangible, you'll know it your chest, so I'll notice your sleep. Improve your thinking by softening your expectations. Returning is the indicator that your atmosphere is clearing. Heaven is close, and the person you missed there is still helping fear. Observing the details of your life, take cautious, you are not moving through this world alone, you'll get back a pew. I've got grace covering what you don't even see yet, that is why the danger. I missed you, which is why you didn't fall apart when you should have. Why are you still here, Evan, after what? You lost Evan after you buried him. After being betrayed, you did not stop. You just became quietly. And now it's time to rise visibly. Right next door isn't small, it's not temporary, another lesson in loss and healing, it's recognition, a reunion with who you were always supposed to be on it. No need to knock because the door is already open. This time, you do not have to explain. You only need to walk in with yourself. Peace with stillness, confidence, and God, who has never let go, never will. Everything is starting to align. Proof will be undeniable. Someone will reach out soon if you haven't already. I haven't spoken to them in a long time. Their name may come to you before the message arrives. In fear, simply listen, respond from fear. Strength, because you do not need validation anymore, you know who you are. You know what you carry and what you have been through, and the one who passed. I know you've been watching, you're the tale unfolded, and today they are celebrating what's finally coming. This is not the it's time to shrink, not now is not the time to question your worth. Second guess, you're red, and you're ready. You've outgrown the past and shed it. Fear, you've broken the pattern and now heaven responds to your faith. Quiet, continuous, robust faith of the kind that means that even if I don't see it, I believe it's moving in the way that suggests even though it takes time, I'm still. This is the kind of faith that heaven honors and is the reason things are about to shift quickly. You'll glance back and add, I didn't see this coming. Your spirit accomplished this because it was designed for this moment. This message is not a maybe, it's a declaration. Your door is opening because your heart remained open. After agony, heaven, grief, even after the one you loved is still walking. Near you, not in body but in truth. There is electricity in every space where grace meets. You're still proud, and they're still nearby. Protecting and praying for what comes next. To reach you without delay, and now it's happening, let your heart believe it. Your spirit says yes, let your past collapse. Away because what's ahead doesn't look like before it's better, it's real. It was sent from heaven, and it is already in motion. This is not the end of message, it's the beginning of something divine and real. Something has your name in its spirit. You did not imagine the signs, I did not make up the shift, it didn't unintentionally experience what you felt. It was confirmation that paradise is moving on your behalf right now, not later, not someday. Since your soul I said yes, because your silence continues, spoke faith because your tears are still held power, and the one who loved you, whoever went over, they stopped shielding youngsters and never ceased watching. They never stopped asking heaven to reward you. Now you are going into what they prayed. It's not simply your time, it's there are two people waiting for this moment. You must finally feel seen in order to finally feel whole again, so that you can finally receive without fear, guilt, without questioning your worthiness. You were always deserving, even when they left, even though you couldn't hear them. Even if the ache warned you, if you were alone, you would never wear. They have been close in your imagination. Could not understand, but your spirit knew. That dream was more than simply a dream. Feeling wasn't merely emotion at that time. Where everything stopped, it was them. Bringing serenity and wisdom. Bringing light to your dark areas, and now they're suggesting it's time to wait long. Some fought for a long time, while others carried. Others have waited long enough. Now let heaven carry you, let grace carry you through this new phase. Begin because it is already here, and you have stepped into something sacrosanct. Even if it feels quiet, even if you don't know what to expect, trust the shift, trust the whisper that brought you here. Feeling that keeps telling this is unique, since it is not only this is another step of fulfillment. Is restored. Now is the time you are being prepared for, through the storms, through the silence, through every nobody else noticed the tear, and you didn't miss it. I didn't mess it up, and neither will you. Latch, you are right on time. Matched with what's coming in view, step by step, breath by breath, word by word. There is someone who still remembers you. When they're about to reach out to hand, it will unlock something emotional, something healing. Something you didn't even realize you still had needed, but have afresh. The one who has left, they ask for that time to arrive, because they saw the hole it left. Your spirit hand, they couldn't stand to, they helped because they saw you were carrying it alone. Pulling their way across their world, they haven't responded by sending light toward your thoughts. Not with delay but with design. Everything is about to alone. You'll looking back on this message. I understand it was true. It was your wake-up call. Call because your soul is being called higher. You are no longer who you used to be. Have you outgrown the old labio shed? Sham of rejected the guilt now. You rise with grace and clarity. Presence with peace, the past is no more owns your voice, grief no longer defines your route, the stillness has been broken. And what you carry is rare. Strong is what this world needs. What you have survived requires tenderness. You battled to defend it, it needs the light. You stayed alive in the dark, so let it shine again, let your soul breathe again. Allow the blessing to come through the cracks is what your pain has prepared you for. Not hardship, but a sacred recompense. It's happening right now, so see how things begin to flow, observe how others start responding differently, see how love begin to return unexpectedly from heaven is found in unexpected places. Proof that you have never abandoned that what was taken is being restored in new forms. Form, divine timing, and calm that you will not leave when it arrives. I've waited long enough, so rezen when it come, don't question it or undermine it. And diminish, you are deserving of what is. About to show there, pews are ready, and you they are not the only ones who fled. Standing with you today, still proud. Still present, still praying. Holding your name with care. Watch over everything heaven is about. To release, they watch it forming, and now so, do you allow your heart to believe? Your mouth speaks, and your spirit rises. Get into it because this is your moment. If this message touched you in this way, I'm commenting on this video so that others can find it. Ready for what's next? Subscribe to remain. Link to what heaven is still prepare since this is merely the beginning. What is coming will not pass. You are not forgotten. Alone.